Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Carasoft Technology would like to welcome you to our ServiceNow Federal Tech Talk, Accelerate Digital Transformation ROI. At this time, I'd like to hand the floor over to our speakers, Ryan and Brent. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for the warm introduction. Again, my name is Ryan Lowensburg. I'm the Director of Outbound Product Management for ServiceNow Impact. Excited to share our experiences with you today. My main focus, just to give you a little bit more about what does outbound product management do. My main mission is to enable our account teams on the value of the Impact product, which is our premium support offering that includes customer success, support, and training, and help them have confident discussions with their customers so they can retain them as clients. Brent?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brent Smith, Director of Success Architecture at ServiceNow, specifically managing a group of success architects and customer success managers, supporting our federal customers, both from our legacy customer success product as well as Impact. I look forward to talking through Impact with everybody today. I've been with ServiceNow just under 7 years in the customer success business, supporting federal throughout that journey. So excited to speak with everyone. Back to you, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. So why don't we get kicked off here? So for some of you that are familiar with Impact, great, but I'm not going to make any assumptions that you understand what Impact is. And that's really kind of what Brent and I wanted to talk about today. But just to kick it off here, before we go into some of our early wins, Impact is what we're taking. It's our premium support model, right? So we're taking the best of breed of support and we're up-leveling it. We're providing things like developer support and enhanced response times to our Impact clients, but also to providing them tools that they can monitor and manage their platform and make sure that's high performing and healthy at all times. In addition to that, we're also including in our premium support model customer success, and that's the team that Brent heads up for our federal space. But we're also providing, in addition to that, and we'll talk about this in more, access to other subject matter experts to the customer success team so that they have a systematic approach to pull in other experts in the time of need. And then on the training side, we are providing a lot of different areas of enablement where we're providing on-demand training, certification, and instructor-led classes as well. So I wanted to kind of tee up what exactly Impact is, and it's really our post-sale solution to help our customers get the value in the shortest time possible. And then let's talk about, for a second here, some of our wins early on. We just launched Impact in January of 2022. And to date, we've acquired just about 375 customers with a revenue number around 48 million. But I want to draw your attention over here to the federal space. Our federal customers are one of the largest consumers of customer success / Impact to date for our customer cohorts. And you can see here, I've broken down some numbers here. Impact, we provide different packages. We start with a guided package, advanced package, and total package, which is more of our white glove service, because we want to make sure that every one of our clients has an opportunity to have some level of support, success, and training at their beck and call so that their people can become from average users to product experts in the shortest period of time. And so, yes, our federal customers, we value dearly. Brent, I think you and I were just talking a minute ago that this number is actually not accurate. This number is actually growing within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. We continue to grow. You know, as most folks on the phone are likely in the federal space, you understand that the third quarter is really the biggest quarter in this space. How the years line up. So, and that historically has been very big from customer success standpoint, and absolutely holds true with Impact. We're seeing a huge uptick in customers signing on for Impact or even renewing Impact. We had some short-term customers that signed on for shorter terms at the initial rollout of Impact, and those customers are renewing, right? And I think that speaks volumes to the value that the organization and the product is bringing. So yeah, we're seeing a pretty big uptick as the weeks go by, and I see that continuing through the end of September as well, Ryan.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you know, Brent, if we keep this pace, we'll be the most successful product launch in ServiceNow's 14, 15-year history. And so we have to keep after it. We have to stay focused. We have to stay humble. And we have to just make sure that we continually drive successful experiences for our customers so that we can be the most historic product launch in ServiceNow history. So nonetheless, some of you in the audience may be saying, customer success, some of you may be clients and have been leveraging customer success from ServiceNow here in the past. You may be saying, everything was going well. Why did you guys change? Why are you guys doing something new this year? And it really dates back to when Bill McDermott, our inspiring, passionate leader, our CEO, came to ServiceNow about 2.5 years ago when he came over from SAP. And as Bill does, right, he goes out and he talks with all of our customer executives. And in these discussions, he came back to us and said, folks, we should be proud of what we do, right? We are changing the world of work. We have the best platform on the planet, but you have to remember one thing. These executives are not buying the platform. They're not buying a tech stack from us. They're not putting their name on the line for a tech stack. They're putting their name on the line for a mission outcome. And we need to look at our post-sale experience and pivot it towards focusing on what the mission outcome is and work our way back. And so he said to us, go to the drawing board and take a look at what we're doing, because our customers want more from us. We're doing fine, they want more. And so what did we do? We went to our customers, right? We went out and we interviewed close to 500 customers, as well as we looked at the existing customer success engagements that we had out there. And there were 3 key themes that kept coming up time and time again. Not only did we have third-party research that inspired us, but you, the customers, inspired us. And these are the 3 pillars of what we thought we needed to build our program around. What we heard from our customers was, we need your help to get smarter, faster, better at ServiceNow. We need better enablement experiences, better support experiences, tools to manage our platforms so that we can keep them healthy and high performing. Also too, when you come to the table, right, we know you're doing your best, but you don't know who we are all the time. We always have to re-explain to you again and time again what our mission outcomes need to be, what workflows we need to be successful, what are our industry verticals, know our industry verticals, and my goodness, come to the table with an opinion. If we're about to walk off a cliff, you're not going to hurt our feelings. Stop us, tell us why, tell us what's different, why we should be doing something different, why we should be thinking differently. You're the vendor. And then last but not least, though, our customers want to see results in a shorter period of time. And they also challenge us to help them measure those results so that they know exactly what the ROI is from their ServiceNow investment. So they can go to their leadership and demonstrate that to them and show that to them, that the investment that they made, that they put their names on the line for, was a good investment. And so this basically was the inspiration for us to do something different. As Bill would say, dream big. And so that's what we did. So as I said before, the main focus for us is to know our clients. Once we know who they are, once we know how we can personalize this experience for them, how we personalize and provide guidance around implementation, how we can provide guidance around adoption strategies, because we know who they are, we know their mission objectives, we know their industry, we know the workflows that they need to leverage to be successful. We know what kind of training they're going to need. We know what kind of success resources we need to roll into the account. And so if we know that, we obviously will then uplift our customers' expertise. As I said before, take your average user and make them a product expert in the shortest time possible. Product experts are the most valuable customers to us. They are the most valuable people on your team because they're more productive and they are doing things the right way the first time. And if you do that, you're going to get the results in a shorter period of time. And also too, with what we're doing, very different than what you've seen out there potentially, is that we're taking those 3 pillars, the training, the support, and success, and we're wrapping it in a digital experience to make it easier for our customers to consume these resources that are critical for their mission outcomes. Now, one of the key things that we do differently here with Impact that we weren't doing in the past, and I'll also let Brent speak to this because this is really a discipline that he could speak to from a place of a lot of expertise, is that we are coming to the table in the first 90, 120 days in the Impact engagements, and we are getting to know our customer. We're getting that customer intimacy that we absolutely need. And it's that we're bringing a foundation, we're bringing what we call impact fundamentals, where we go and we do value blueprinting, we do interviews, we do technical roadmap, and we build a customer impact plan that includes the foundations for our customer's journey to be successful. And that rigor and that structure is something that we didn't do in the past. And that is something when we were doing our interviews, we knew was a gap. And so that is what's really making this a successful experience for our clients. And, and it allows teams like Brent's that he heads up to be successful in driving those value-based experiences. So Brent, let me ask you a quick question here. Since you're so closest to our federal customers and your teams are, what are you hearing from the front lines, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
Yeah, no, thanks, Ryan. Specifically in the federal space, as I go and talk to customers and our teams go and talk to federal customers, it's really a resounding message, right? We love the platform, we love the capability of the platform, but we need help, right? We have limited access to expert resources as we undertake what is oftentimes a very complex journey, right? To implement ServiceNow, right? We're working in often siloed groups within our organization and really need that help, right? We don't have those foundational elements in place that allow us to really start off on the right foot as we embark on this transformation journey, really. So what Impact brings, right? When we talk about those experts, is we bring a squad, and that's the term we use for the named resources. And I'll talk a little bit about the unnamed resources in a minute. But that named resource group that comes with your Impact package is made up of 4 different resources, all very critical to the mission outcomes that we strive to help you achieve or exceed, quite honestly. And those squad members are inclusive of a success architect, right? The team that I lead, as well as the CSMs. And that success architect is really your strategic expert that is really going to lean in from a strategy and roadmap perspective, right? Give very prescriptive guidance around, right? Do we have a sound governance structure in place, right? Do we have a governance structure in place that will, help manage the platform as we continue to grow? Because when we get to those initial mission outcomes, guess what? People are going to want to be on the platform. So do we have a structure in place to manage that demand intake, right? So your success architect is really focused on understanding your business, being very prescriptive in our guidance that aligns to your strategy and helps really uncover what that strategy is, right? Helps really, again, in that foundational stage, understand what outcomes we're trying to get to, right? We'll work on putting some targets together once we understand what those outcomes are, and then we'll help you measure that, right? If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Right. So we want to be very prescriptive up front, help you with that foundational element that we talk about to put you on the right path. The platform architect is our technical arm of the squad, right? These are technical experts on our platform that really lean in and do things like technical governance, right? Having a governance model from a technical perspective in place and really guiding you through setting that up so you have a sustainable technical governance model in place, right? They're doing things like health scans, right? They're making sure that the underlying configuration of the platform is set up for success, right? We want to stay as close to out of the box as possible, right? We want to be following best practices, and us giving you that guidance via that platform architect is hugely valuable to every federal customer that we have. Support account manager, again, another critical role, right? They're managing the day-to-day operations within ServiceNow, right? So tickets that are coming into ServiceNow from your organization being managed by this, we call it a SAM, support account manager. They're reporting back out on metrics around tickets that are coming in. Importantly, handling any escalations, right? Some tickets that come in are very critical to your business and might be causing a roadblock, right? They help clear those roadblocks. And I think almost most importantly, they're helping with upgrade planning, right? I think with ServiceNow having 2 major releases every year, we're kind of always in that upgrade mindset, right? So that support account manager is helping with the planning so that each one of these upgrades is really a seamless and transparent activity, right? So again, so far the 3 that I've talked about, success architect, platform architect, support account manager, they were a part of our legacy customer success business, right? With Impact, we introduce a new role, and that's the customer success manager, right? So this resource again becomes very critical because they're helping coordinate all of the activity, and there's a tremendous amount of activity that the squad in general is managing along with your teams. The CSM is really helping with all of that coordination, getting assignments out to the platform architect, success architect, and the SAM on different initiatives and activities that we're working on with you. They're also bringing in outside resources, and that's a critical part of Impact. It's about this squad that you work with day in and day out, right? They're really ingrained and part of your team. But I think the beauty of Impact and what we bring to the table isn't just limited to these 4 resources. And I get comments all the time from federal customers, Brent, I can't believe the reach that you guys have back into that organization to bring experts to the conversation when we need to have those conversations. And by experts, I mean technical consultants, I mean business process consultants, right? Product success teams, whatever the need is, right? It's really a variable delivery model, right? We're bringing the right people to the conversation at different inflection points along your journey to add the most value. And again, everything we do is really pointed back to getting to or achieve or exceeding those mission outcomes that we talk about very early on in the relationship when we're getting to know all of our customers, right? What are we trying to accomplish, right? So this team is always focused on either getting to those mission outcomes or exceeding those mission outcomes with a way to effectively measure that, so you have real-time access into how you're doing towards achieving those outcomes. So, in closing on that part, Ryan, it's really about the people, right? It's about the people that ServiceNow brings to the conversation. These practitioners know the platform in and out. They know the federal space, right? They have the necessary clearances to work with customers that require that, right? That might be in our GCC or even on-prem, right? So it's really all about the people, Ryan.
No, thank you for that, Brent. And one of the things you kept mentioning was like these unnamed resources, and you kind of scratch the surface a little bit. Would you maybe share a little bit more about like developer support, or maybe even the impact accelerators that we're providing to our clients, and what you're hearing about? Because that's a part of the reach as well, right? So I just wanted to see if you can elaborate on some of those other areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it makes sense, right, to really let's square off on fundamentals, right? So that early stage activity that's going on with the squad, and then I'll kind of transfer into the variable resources and what accelerators we're bringing them in for, right? So early on in the relationship, that getting to know you stage, right? One of the very first things we're going to do is what we call a success readiness assessment, right? That's interviewing critical folks on the customer's team, right? Whether that's executive sponsors, platform owners, process owners, right? Getting really the voice of the customer, where you feel you are across different areas, whether that's governance, right? Do we have a strategy that's defined, and has that been communicated to the organization? What's our governance model look like? I'll be very honest, in this space, we find that that's an area we need to really lean in a lot early on, because there's not a sustainable governance model in place, but that's okay. We'll get you there, right? So this SRA, or success readiness assessment, really it's several interviews, several stakeholders to really understand where you are. So that gives us a baseline of where we need to focus our attention right out of the gates, right? Oftentimes, as I mentioned, governance, when we create the heat map after that SRA, governance is flashing red, right? So that means we need to really lean in early on to help build that governance model, right? And that's delivered via workshops, right? Really focused on strategy, portfolio governance, technical governance that I mentioned, the platform architect that focuses on. Delivering workshops, working along with your teams, helping build out what that governance model looks like, so you're ready for success and you're ready for that demand intake that I talked about. But that SRA really encompasses everything across the platform, from strategy, configuration, partner strategy, right? What's your integration strategy? Really understanding where you are so that we can build our plan based on that and know where to focus our energies. We're also going to look at value blueprinting, right? We talk about mission outcomes. Let's spend some time early in the relationship to really map out what that looks like. What are the outcomes we're trying to achieve? Why are we buying ServiceNow? What are we trying to get out of this, right? Having that clearly defined, right? What our mission objectives are, then we can work with you to define target values, right? It doesn't have to be monetizable. It might be qualitative, right? I want to increase my end user experience and my satisfaction scores. I want to improve them by 5%, 10%, right? Helping define what those outcomes are, put target values there, and then be very prescriptive around, here's how we believe you should measure that, right? Around KPIs. Here's the KPIs we feel you should put in place to measure that, and then go as far as helping you build the dashboards to do that measurement, right? Very soon in Q4 for our GCC customers, we'll have a very robust, what we call an IDE, an impact digital experience, where you're interacting with that squad on our digital experience interface. You're ordering these accelerators, right? Hey, I have a need to build a COEI. How does that work? You can go request a COEI accelerator, right? Then whether we can deliver that from the named squad, or if we need to bring in experts in that specific area, that's what we do through this variable delivery model, or resource model, I'm sorry, to have those conversations, right? So when I talk about accelerators and being able to order accelerators as part of this program, those are things like architectural blueprint, right? COE design that I talked about, CSDM, right? Common Service Data Model. How do we build that out? How to remediate issues there, right? Expert Connect. An Expert Connect is, I need to talk to somebody that has very deep knowledge about a specific component of our platform. Maybe that's service mapping, right? As an example, right? We'll bring in a service mapping expert to talk and work with your team to really lay out what that needs to look like, what a successful implementation looks like, what are lessons learned, what are those best practices, because these folks are working with hundreds of very successful customers to get those best practices that we convey to our customers. Tune up your security, technical governance, which we talked about, right? We have adoption accelerators, right? Because the intent is to ensure that you're adopting the platform, right? You don't want shelfware, right? You want to utilize everything that you've purchased from the platform. So helping build out the roadmap, right, is an accelerator we would work with you on to really map out, here's the phased approach to implementing and delivering success back out to your business. A health assessment, jumpstart your upgrade. There's a laundry list of accelerators that our customers are able to go in and order, and we staff with the right resources to kind of guide you through each of those different areas. It's a very robust program, Ryan, and I will say that, you know, our customers are benefiting from really, and I keep going back to the people, right? It's the people that we bring to our customers that align with their business to really drive an acceleration to value, right? Because, and I haven't said the word value, and I usually overuse it because that's why we're here, right? We want to accelerate the time to value so that customers get the ROI on that investment into our platform, and we get there as quickly as possible. And we do that via the delivery of our impact program.
You know, Brent, and I think that's what's so different than what we were doing, you know, in 2021 and prior, is that, you know, you mentioned before, these are the three personas that came to the table.
That's
now
right.
what we're doing is we're bringing an additional member. But if you think about those impact accelerators, right, and it's just a digital catalog, and we have close to 30 of those accelerators today, where a customer can go in and click a button and invoke a subject matter expert to come to the table. You're really looking at like 35 members from ServiceNow that could be coming to the table to support you and give you that bear hug that our clients so desperately need. So, you know, to me, I kind of look at it this way, Brian, it's like, it's the right service at the right time for the right person. And so that for me, and I know I'm hearing this from you and the other members, your peers and stuff, is that's really what our clients are really seeing different about this approach, is that it's not, it's enabling your teams to have that structured reach, that systematic reach to pull these folks in, not reactive, because reactive is, you know, that doesn't help customers all that well. Proactive is much better for our clients. So, but anyways, just kind of wanted to add a little tidbit to that end of there.
Yeah. You know, I've heard, Ryan, some customers, you know, when they talk about, wow, I can't believe the resources you bring to the table. I've had customers say, you know, I view ServiceNow Impact as an insurance policy, right? You're ensuring that, one, I have that foundation, the right foundation in place, right, early on, right, before the first fingers hit a keyboard, right? We've got that foundation in place for success, right? And that's a critical part of it. Oftentimes, you know, organizations buy product, right, software, and they go right to an implementation without actually doing that foundational work that is so critical. And what we've seen, right, and it's unfortunate in some cases, but you know, when you don't do those foundational things up front and you just take off down this path of implementation and configuration, they quickly find out, hey, we need to go back, right? We've got to take 5 steps back and rethink about this, because if governance is a great example, if they don't have the right governance model in place, you know, things go awry very quickly, and you get an over customized platform that becomes very difficult to upgrade, right? But if you do those things up front, you know, you're able to do so and then get to upgrades and so forth, and build upon the platform in a very streamlined way. You know, one of the things we haven't talked about is process, right? I mentioned process owners earlier. One of the things that I think is hugely valuable from our program is doing design reviews, right? And what a design review really focuses on is taking a process. Let's just make it as simple as possible and say change, right? Well, not necessarily simple, but let's look at change, right? And we'll bring in a business process consultant, right? So not somebody that you see on your screen here, but somebody that we're bringing to the conversation that is a true expert on change, right? And that business process consultant is going to sit with your process owners and stakeholders and say, let's look at change from end to end, from start to finish, and understand what's in place today, right? And then be very prescriptive on here's ways to make that particular process more efficient. And that's backed by the lessons learned from working with very successful customers, like I mentioned before, right? Here, if we follow this process and do it this way, you're going to gain a lot of efficiencies, which again, point back to achieving those mission outcomes, right? It all starts, the dots all start to connect, right? So looking at that process, in this space, everybody on the phone probably will be shaking their head, right? We're very siloed, right? You know, one group does change this way, another group does change that way, right? Very different. Everybody has their green button or red button that they push. They don't know what's behind it, but they know I just pushed the green button, right? But getting those groups together and saying, okay, we're all doing it very differently today. How can we get alignment across all of these groups on a single way to manage change, right? And then you end up with a very streamlined process that works and gains efficiencies across the platform. That's just one example, right? Doing a design review and looking at each and every process early on before hands hit the keyboard, so that when you go to configure, right, we're configuring a process that's proven, that has efficiencies, is going to be better for your organization.
That's great, Brent. Well, why don't we do this, Brent? Why don't we, if there are any questions from the audience, why don't we field some of those?
Sure.
We did get a couple. The first question is, you mentioned you have customers who have purchased legacy customer success in the past. Are they some of the clients that have purchased Impact this year?
Great question, and absolutely. In fact, when I mentioned Q3 being our biggest quarter for the federal space, excuse me, I think it's important to give a data point because it's, I think, so very relevant to that question. Last year, before Impact, right, as we had customer success in this space, again, federal making up the biggest majority of those customer success customers. And as everyone knows in this space, contracts are not 3 and 5 year contracts, they're 12-month contracts, right? So you have a very short runway to really deliver and drive value for our customers, right? If we weren't doing that, they wouldn't renew the product. Q3 of last year, from a revenue standpoint, our renewal rate was 100%, right? Over 20 customers renewed last Q3 because they were getting the value out of the customer success engagement. What we're seeing this quarter is a conversion of those customers over to Impact. And that is a very high rate of conversion because the value's there, right? And what we're doing with Impact is adding to that value, right? As we talked about, we're adding another resource, another named resource, right? That's doing a lot of coordination. And with that coordination and the impetus behind that being, hey, if this might be activity that the success architect or platform architect was having to manage on a day-to-day basis with the customer success package, with the CSM, that's freeing up that success architect and that platform architect to really lean in on strategically focused activity for our customers. So to answer the question directly, yes, absolutely. Customers that were on legacy customer success are absolutely converting over to Impact. And we did some short-term deals on Impact with a couple of those customers, and they're actually renewing Impact, right? So that resonates in the sense that they're getting the value from the program. If that answers the question, Heather.
Yeah. Are you able to talk about the differences in the different Impact offerings at all?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take first stab.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Go for it, Brent.
So there's really 3 tiers, right? And the area where I'll say I play and this team plays, specifically success architect, platform architect, and support account manager, are in the advanced or total tiers. Okay, so and the difference between an advanced package and a total package, number of entitlements being one, right? The advanced impact package is really a shared model, right? So a success architect might work with multiple accounts, whereas in a total package, and depending on the ACV, would be a dedicated model, right? There's benefits to both, certainly. If you're thinking about an advanced package where you would have shared resources, there's benefits to that. And I say that because if I'm a success architect, and I am a practitioner, I've managed accounts over the 7 years I've been here. If I'm a customer working with a success architect, it's very valuable for me to have a success architect that is working with my peers in this space, right? And knowing and hearing other problems that agencies are facing and how those are being solved. So they're bringing the knowledge of working with multiple accounts to your account. So there's absolutely benefit to working in that shared model. Again, based on ACV, you might have a dedicated model where you've got a success architect that is only working with your organization, a platform architect only working in your organization. Those are the main differences. But while I have the floor, one thing I didn't mention that I think is very important, back to the accelerators. One is a code review, right? And this is new. This isn't something we did with legacy customer success, but we'll actually go in as your developers are writing code and doing configuration and do a code review and give feedback as to, that specific code. And it's limited to a few hundred lines, I think is what it is. But that's a nuance that wasn't available with legacy customer success, but I did think it was important to mention.
Yeah, Brent, there was somebody in the audience that asked that question, that they're seeing a lot of strategic help, but is there, anything more tactical around specific coding and things of that nature? So you hit the nail right on the head, because I was going to say, developer support's been one of the more welcomed enhancements that we've brought to our customers. And what we're hearing from our clients is that, they're leveraging that right before they push code to their end users. And we're actually seeing in the roadmap that we build with our clients, we're actually seeing right before code gets released, we have developer support. We may even run an accelerator on top of that, just to kind of make sure, like, gosh, we didn't even talk about this, the advisory sessions, Brent, where, it's half-day workshops. Our clients in the total and advanced packages get so many days of advisory sessions throughout the year, where you can call in as many experts as you need and have a 4-hour half-day workshop around those topics. And you can plan those out in the roadmap, so proactively that you're gonna get those right experts to the table at the right time to deliver the messages that you need or the support that you need. So there's a lot of guidance, but also there is, that tactical support as well.
That's right. And those advisory sessions, they might be staffed by a business process consultant that I mentioned, or a technical consultant. Also, I think important to note, in this space, when Ryan, you asked me, what am I hearing, right? So what I'm hearing and what I know about this space, federal space, there's a lot of partners, right? There's a heavy reliance on partners. And I think it's worth noting, we work very closely with those partners, right? We don't separate ourselves from those partners. We work alongside and with those partners, right? And we're helpful. One personal example I'll have is, there were concerns with a specific partner and around the way things were being implemented or configured. And rather than point fingers, we helped that partner, that specific partner, build out a training path, right? To go and get the necessary certifications to the necessary amount of folks so that they could deliver for your organization. Training, we haven't talked about, Ryan, but that's a huge part of Impact, right? We have access to it, to a training account executive that is working with us and working with our customers to build out what a comprehensive training path looks like for them, specifically for our customers. Oh, and there's deep discounts on training as part of the Impact package as well. But access to those training resources that are helping you build out a training curriculum for the folks, and helping ensure we're training the right people, most importantly, at the right time. Right. We're not training everybody up front, then 6 to 9 months goes by while configuration's being done and nobody remembers anything they were taught 9 months ago. So working with you on that plan so that you have a systematic approach to comprehensively train the right resources on the platform. So when we get to a go live, again, very successful and we're hitting those mission outcomes.
Yeah. Those are all great points, Brent. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing any other questions at this time. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to discuss before we wrap up today's session?
No, just from my standpoint, it's been a pleasure to speak with everyone. Looks like a pretty large audience, and if you're contemplating Impact, talk to your account team. Right, we as an Impact team are very willing to go into depth about the program. And the benefits, right? I touched on some, not everything today. But it really is. And I mentioned insurance policy, right? And I say that in jest, but that's the way some of our customers view Impact and these teams is they're keeping us within the guardrails, right? These experts are making sure we're doing this the right way. So we're positioned for success. And I think we're delivering that in a great way with Impact. Thank you.
Well, Brent, you and the team keep on delivering those great experiences to our federal clients, and we'll make sure on the product side that we continually innovate, listen to the front lines, and we continually optimize around our findings so that we can continue to deliver a product that does meet the U.S. public sector needs. So thank you so much for your time, Brent, and really just keep doing what you're doing because things are going great for you guys. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. I'd like to thank all of our participants as well as our speakers for being with us today. We hope the information you received during this webinar has been helpful. If you have any further questions or would like to request more information, please feel free to reach out. Thank you all again and have a great day.